You're listening to the Mopcast Network.
So before I start the show, I want to say that Stephanie and I are recording today on a very special day. Today, we always record our show on Tuesdays, and today's Tuesday, October 8th. And so I know you're listening in on the 10th, but we recorded 2 days because, you got to edit and stuff. Well, 5 years ago today, on the 8th, that's when I started recording my very first podcast, the Weekly Mopcast, which used to be it was like this show got combined with 2 shows. Although cult meetings are much like the old Weekly Mopcast, which I love. But Steph joined us later on. You can talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, I joined you as soon as you got back from West Virginia.
Right, West Virginia. So
a few years ago.
I got the idea to start podcasting while I was up in college. And I went to a small historically black college, West Virginia State University, outside of Charleston, West Virginia. Go State or go Yellow Jackets, whichever one you want to go. We always said go State. And we had a radio lab with like a full broadcast booth and stuff. I mean, you've been there. You've seen it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And we couldn't use it because we didn't have an FCC license, so they only used it for projects. So just for, and it got used probably twice a semester. So we invaded and started using. So me and my first co-host was Aaron Lynch Kelly. I reached out to him today on Facebook and was like, "Oh my God, can you believe it's 5 years?" He's like, "No, I feel so old." And I didn't even think about how old now I feel. But yeah, so today is when we recorded the first podcast. Tomorrow's technically when it aired. So tomorrow's technically the Mopcast Network's birthday.
That's awesome. Happy birthday.
5 years. Can you believe it? And look, I know haven't been consistently on the air for 5 years, but we're doing a lot better now. I looked at it. We've had over 75,000 downloads in the 5 years.
That's awesome.
And produced over 350 podcasts in that time.
That's amazing.
I'm very, especially from, people from Alabama by way of West Virginia and making a little podcast. And so thank you to all for listening to us for the last 5 years. And if you're new, there's a whole library of stuff you can listen to that we've got. So
that's for sure.
But nostalgia aside, let's get on with the show.
All right.
Well, welcome to the Cult Movie Cantina. This podcast takes a look at our favorite cult films, introduces them to someone who hasn't seen them. She's not here this week. Pairs them with a great alcoholic beverage.
I'm here.
And then we talk about it. That's me. This week we watched the 1990 film Night of the Living Dead. I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, and I'm joined... Scotty. I forgot to put my name on this list. Again, I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty. And I'm joined by...
your facilitator of fun and your lady of libations, Stephanie.
We have an action-packed show for you, but first,
if you'd like to follow us, you can find us on any fine podcast app, including Spotify, by spurching. Don't spurch on it. Don't spurch. By searching for the Mopcast Network. You can find us on YouTube at the Mopcast Network, where we have our podcasts, movie reviews, mashups, and short films waiting for you to enjoy. So subscribe and set the alert so you don't miss anything.
You can see my newest review on Joker.
Oh
yeah, which
great
I missed.
Movie.
It was good. I missed that we couldn't get together for that.
Yeah, we couldn't get together. I did watch it Sunday with my mom.
Oh, how'd your mom like it?
She loved it.
It sounds like your mom.
We could
Joker, a movie good enough for your mom.
That's right.
If you want to find more about the Cult Movie Cantina, you can join us at our Facebook page at facebook.com/cultmoviecantina. There you can find out the latest movie news, see trailers, play games such as Wrong Title Only, and caption this. You know what? This week I did not do a Wrong Title Only.
I didn't see one.
I didn't do it. Kickstarter, man, it's got me obsessed. Talk to other cultists and find out if and when we're doing a live show near you.
Oh, and guess what? We are. Speaking of live shows, you can find us at Horror Gras, the Halloween Festival on October 26th and 27th. We'll have a table where you can meet meet us, chat with us. Plus, we'll have some cool swag to give out, chance to win cool prizes. We'll also be recording a live Cult Movie Cantina episode and also hosting a horror-themed version of our game show, hashtag.
Maybe,
which I am the current empress of.
Yeah, we're running some.
We may or may not do that one.
But if we don't do it, then we'll be doing it soon. There will be 2 shows. We'll do a Cult Movie Cantina and something else.
We're definitely doing a live podcast.
There's a lot of moving pieces with the hashtag. They're just not moving together, and so it's just everyone's busy. So we're just got to get everyone done, but we'll get it done. We will entertain you. Also, that's at Gamers and Geeks. That's where we record.
That's right. I will be there on Saturday. I can't be there on Sunday.
Because she's going to be a witch.
I'm going to be a witch.
My friend Mike Oming has a comic on Kickstarter called The After Realm. It's an ongoing 48-page fantasy series about an elf escaping from her world after Ragnarok. Mike, you may know, is an Eisner and Harvey Award-winning artist, best known for the co-creator of Powers. Powers had a show on PlayStation Network.
That's awesome.
He does it with he does the art, and is written by Brian Michael Bendis. And everyone knows the famous Brian Michael Bendis. He's been everywhere. He's also known for working on Thor, Red Sonja, and a bunch of other cool stuff. I've been acquainted with Mike for years, and I have an awesome picture of his wife Taki with a sandwich I took at DragonCon like in 2010. It's one of my favorite sandwiches. One of my favorite pictures. Makes me happy. The sandwich was pretty good too. However, you can back the Kickstarter by searching for After Realm, or you can check our show notes, because our show notes are awesome. You should always check our show notes.
Absolutely.
So this week we looked at the remake of Night of the Living Dead, because it's interesting and no one really talks about it. It's almost forgotten. Most people. There's been a lot of remakes of Night of the Living Dead, and this is I think the truest, because pretty much everyone who was involved in the first one is involved in this one,
right?
And so that's what's going to go. So we're going to play the trailer now.
They came to pay their respects.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Why do you have to be so cruel?
What?
Show some respect.
Now they're running for their lives.
A biologist in Stockton, California have released reports focusing on the phenomenon, specifically on that trance-like state.
Every shelter is becoming a trap.
Are you sure we're gonna be all right?
Cooper, you gotta help me out!
And every road out
Don't stop no matter what happens.
is just another dead end.
They're coming right for us!
George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
And that was Night of the Living Dead. That's what we're talking about.
Da, da, da.
Oh, how craziness that is. Night of the Living Dead came out, as I said, in 1990. It was directed by Tom Savini, who is predominantly known as a special effects wizard.
Yes, I am a huge fan of his.
I am too. Savini.
You know how I am with my special effects.
Have you ever met him?
I have not met him. I have followed him and his work, but I have yet to meet him.
So I have met him a couple of times. He came to South Alabama and did his lecture.
Oh my gosh.
And so I caught his lecture and met him there. And then that was 2008 or 2009. And then 2010, we went to DragonCon and saw him at DragonCon. If I can find the picture, I've got it somewhere, but I've got a picture of him choking Mop, the Mop
that's
doll.
awesome.
So I walked up to people back then and was like, will you take a picture of my doll? It's creepy. It worked. It's written by George A. Romero. It was based on an early script by Romero and John Russo, they both wrote the original. So George went back and rewrote that script. Stars Tony Todd.
I love Tony Todd.
Tony's so good. He's not only the Candyman, he's a Klingon.
I know. He's Kern.
And
I love Tony Todd.
Tony Todd's great. He plays Ben. Tony Todd, side note, besides the Star Trek world, during his Star Trek work, stars in my favorite episode of Deep Space Nine.
Oh, is that the one with, what's the name of that episode? I know which one you're talking about. That's where...
I like how she's you can't see, but she's pointing like she's
pointing.
It's like she's gonna grab the answer out of the air.
It's like when they're like either in the past or in the future.
Yeah, it's called The Visitor.
The Visitor. That's it.
It follows.
Thank you. I was trying to remember the name of it.
It follows Jake Sisko, after his father, Benjamin Sisko, who's the captain of the show, vanishes in subspace. And so he's trying to spend his life to try to rescue him.
Right.
And so Tony Todd plays the older Jake Sisko, and it's just absolutely brilliant. Patricia Tillman as Barbara, has Tom Towles as Harry Cooper, William Butler as Tom, Katie Finneran as Judy Rose, which is the worst name ever. Please don't name your children that. And McKee Anderson as Helen Cooper. Are you ready for the sermon?
I'm ready for the sermon.
Brothers and sisters, gather round. It's time for the sermon.
Preach.
Meet Barbara. Her and her brother Johnny are driving through a rural Pennsylvania cemetery. They bicker and fight. Johnny's kind of a jerk, trying to scare Barbara for no apparent reason.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
They run into an old guy who is very apologetic and looks kind of out of it. And when they try to help him, they're attacked by... Well, they don't say it in the movies, but I'm going to say it because it's a lot easier for me for these descriptions. They're attacked by a zombie.
Right. Or the living dead.
Yes, or the living... Zombie's just quicker to say. There's a bit of a struggle between the three, and Johnny is killed when he falls and breaks his neck. Barbara escapes. So let's talk about this for a second.
I just want to say that her brother got what he deserved.
Right.
Right off the bat.
So that's Bill Moseley, and he's most famous for being most recently in he's in The Devil's Rejects and the most recent Three from Hell. Rob Zombie. He's also in what's the first one? House of 1,000 Corpses.
Right.
He's in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and he's done a lot of horror roles, and so he comes in and do this great cameo. He's really good at it he's such a jerk. Johnny is such a jerk. I don't get why he's a jerk too. He's just like
they're going to go visit. It looks like their mother.
Yeah, their mother.
So here she is. She looks like she has a thing with cemeteries. She doesn't like cemeteries, and he is teasing her the whole time.
I know your mother worked at a cemetery.
I used to.
I thought you did too. I think when I first met you, you were working at the cemetery. Yep. So cemeteries never scared you.
No, when I was a kid, I've always been fascinated with them. I used to live I used to live in a place that on one side of my house was this old cemetery, and the other side of my house was a cornfield. So, yes. So growing up in an area like that, no, not a whole lot scares me. I'm sorry.
So cemeteries didn't scare me. However, I do have a Scotty was scared in a cemetery story once.
Do you really?
Yeah. So my mother and my grandmother and my father went to visit my grandfather's grave, and this was like in the 80s. I was 8 or 9 years old and have been well versed in zombie movies.
Right.
So I had done seeing the original Night and Dawn and Day by then, and probably Return of the Living Dead. So and whatever cheesy B horror film zombie movie you could get off the shelves at our local Video Mart. And I remember it's very quiet and we're very solemn because we're looking at this. I never met my grandfather. He died before I was born.
Right.
But it's my mother's father and of course my grandmother's husband. And we're just looking quietly and solemn, and then I felt something grab my ankle, and I near about wet myself.
What was it?
I jumped so high. It was my dad who stepped back behind me and leaned down before I didn't see him because I was I was in the moment. He went and grabbed my ankle like something come out of the ground to get me.
Hilarious.
I screamed. I nearly wet myself. I will never forget that.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man. Thanks, Dad.
I've always liked them. I used to hang out in cemeteries when I was younger.
I actually could totally
just
see
for
that.
fun. Yeah.
This fight scene is ridiculous, especially how Johnny dies because it's special effects wizard Tom Savini sometimes doesn't get it all right. And I understand it's a hard effect because all the effects in here are practical.
Right.
Which is fine. But go back and watch it and try to catch it in slow-mo because you'll actually see the mannequin fall and the mannequin neck break. And it's very, very, it's like, I'm a human being. Suddenly I'm in Kmart. And it's, it's just, there's some really cool zombies in here too. There's the most interesting one is the Y autopsy with the autopsy cut.
Oh yeah, I like that.
I mean, it's authentic.
They had, that's the one where the suit was just kind of sewn on them, like the one piece that was coming off from the front.
Right.
And then, of course, further on down the road, they had, like naked zombies and
a lot of booty. There was a lot of booty zombie shots in this
Booty
one.
zombie.
Booty zombie. Barbara tries to get to her car, but that doesn't work. Zombies are all. It just gets ugly.
That wasn't her car, though.
It was Johnny's car, right? Or just a car?
No, the car that she got into, I think, was a hearse or something.
No,
it was a station wagon.
Station wagon. That's what it was.
But there was no keys.
She couldn't find the keys. That's what it was. She couldn't find the keys. After failing using the car, more zombies show up around the cemetery. Come for her in the world's worst recruiting attempt for a club.
Yeah, right.
China. She runs through the woods. She finds a farmhouse and she goes to find refuge there. She mostly freaks out. Is attacked by a big old bald zombie and she defeats it. She leaves the house, still freaking out, to see Ben driving up in his car, and he plows right into another zombie. So, Ben helps Barbara with her zombie problems, and they start boarding up the house. He talks about how he was in the city and things got out of hand, and so he ran and jumped in his truck and drove here.
Yeah, it was like in a diner when it happened.
Yeah, he was in a diner when it was happening.
Radio in the truck. All I heard was trash talk. Same as always. People trying to sound like they know what's going on. They don't really know shit. Same as always. One guy is saying it's escaped prisoners on the loose from up in Hennessy. Another guy is saying it's some kind of chemical spill making everybody go crazy. They don't know shit. How do they explain a man walking around with his neck broken? A man shot full of holes and still coming at you. Assholes. Down in Evans City out for a good time with their guns and their six-packs. Assholes trying to round them up and put them in the back of trucks. Like they know what they're gonna do with them. They had 10, 20 of them in the back of this panel truck. They opened the door to let another one in. They come spilling out of there. Like bugs.
Watched him put I like that he was shouting like, I saw them put them in panel trucks.
Right.
And when we went to put another one in, they all jumped out. I was
right.
like, I would have loved to see that, but I think my visuals would be much better. Is what I see in my head. It's smart to tell us that.
Right.
In film they tell you to show not tell, but sometimes telling works out. While they're boarding up the place, we find more survivors hiding in the basement. We meet Harry Cooper, his wife Helen, and their daughter Sarah. Harry is just the worst.
Oh, he's horrible.
He's just, I thought Johnny was a jerk. This dude's just an asshole.
What's happening?
They decided to stay upstairs.
What about us?
It's safer down here.
What about Sarah?
It's safer down here, Helen.
How many people are up there?
There's 2 more.
And they've got the gun.
No, they've got 2 guns. They might have 100 guns for all I know, but it doesn't matter because it's safer down here!
We're going up. We've got to get help for Sarah.
I'm not opening that door, Helen, and neither are you, and if you try, so help me out.
You what?
None of those yo-yos has a car!
Yeah.
I mean,
he's just a major asshole. Don't forget about the young couple.
All right, I'm getting to it.
Okay.
We paused to talk about Harry because
he's awful.
He's terrible. He's like that guy who's like upper middle management. Mm-hmm. He's got a little. Obviously, they have a little money because she's got pearls and stuff. Yeah. But so he's also way dressed up. I don't know where they were on their way to because they look like they were on to a more formal event.
Yeah, they look like they were going or coming from dinner.
Yeah.
But
not like
the daughter was sick, so I don't know.
Well, she got bitten. That's why she was sick.
Oh, I didn't realize she got
bitten.
Yeah,
she got bitten. He says,
I missed that.
One of those crazy guys bit her. And that's what he says.
How'd she get hurt?
One of those people bit her on the arm.
Speaking of which, Helen is caring for their daughter who was bitten by one of the zombies and isn't doing well. We also meet Tom and Judy Rose, quote unquote teenage lovers.
Something like that.
I say possibly cousins. There's no way they're not cousins.
I have to agree with you.
There's no way they're teenagers too. They don't look young to me.
No.
They don't look like teenagers to me. I don't know how old they were when they were cast.
They look like early 20s.
Early 20s tops. Because there's a whole thing about Judy Rose and driving. And it's like, yeah, Judy Rose has been driving cars since she was a kid. I'm like...
Trucks.
Driving trucks since she was a kid. I'm like, yeah, but she's got to have a license, right? She's old enough to have a license.
Well, I think they were concerned about it being a stick or whatever. I don't know.
I know. The way I took it, she was just like, she's been driving.
She knows how to drive. She can drive.
Tom, let's go. It's you and me.
Coming with you. I can drive.
No, Judy Rose, you're staying here.
No, somebody's got to drive. Somebody's got to do the gas, and somebody's got to ride shotgun. That means 3 of us goes out. Tommy, tell him I know how to drive. I can do it, Tommy.
Your daddy's got trucks. She's been driving since she was little.
All right.
That is awesome.
Sorry, my phone went off, and it was the alert that we have to record today. Thank you, Google.
There you go.
Yeah. So Harry wants to stay in the basement. Ben says that's a death trap. Tom is a nephew of the guy who owns the house. That's Uncle Reg. You know, the bald zombie Barbara killed. Oh, and he has a gas pump locked up, and they need to find the key. So Operation board up the windows and doors and find the key compromises. Judy Rose also freaks out a bit because Barbara starts freaking out less and becoming Sara Conner.
Oh, yeah. Which I love, by the way.
It was like, but they were like, we have to have one woman freak out in this movie.
I don't remember. Now, I may have, my mind wanders.
Yes,
and
I know.
So
I've known you for a long time.
I'm watching the movie, and I could have sworn she had a dress on when they were in the cemetery.
She does. So she has a dress on in the cemetery.
And then all of a sudden, I noticed she did not have a dress on, but I don't remember her changing.
So in her transformation from freak out girl, because Judy Rose shows up, and Judy Rose is the new freak out, because Judy Rose freaks out a lot. She gets pants. And
a tank top.
And the tank top she had.
Yeah.
When she takes off her blouse, she has a undershirt.
Right.
And then she's got, but she finds pants that fit her well enough. And so she takes off the skirt and then she puts on the pants. Wow. While she's arming herself with the old-timey gun.
And then she's badass.
And so the moment she becomes Sara Conner. And she's really good with a gun. Like, we didn't know she was good with guns. She's like, she can't miss.
She's like dead in the head shot.
Just it's fantastic. It's really. So, I'm summarizing this one quickly here. Hey, look, keys are found. Sara Conner kills a lot of zombies. Barbara turns out to be the best at shooting zombies real good. She shoots the neighbor, Mr. Magruder, and well, that just freaks out Judy Rose, who's still having trouble adjusting to this.
No, don't shoot it! You shot Mr. Magruder!
Look at his back!
You shot him!
Look at his back! I didn't do that! Look there!
It's like Uncle Reg. They're dead, but they're coming right for us.
No. That's impossible. That just can't be.
Grab him, bro. We'll throw him up and out the window.
Is he dead? No! Is he dead? You're all seeing this! Is he dead?
Stop it! You're losing it, girl. You are losing it!
You think so? Whatever I lost a long time ago, and I do not plan on losing anything else. You can talk to me about losing it when you stop screaming at each other like a bunch of 2-year-olds.
Trust me, she'll adjust soon. Ben, Tom, and Judy Rose, who's been driving since she's a little girl, get in Ben's truck with Barbara shooting zombies from the house. The plan is to go after the gas pump. They can unlock it.
Right.
Ben is slung off the truck, and he's off fighting zombies when the others get to the gas pump. But oh no, the keys are wrong. So Tom uses that edumacation and uses his shotgun as a lock pit, and things get all explodey.
Yeah, they do. What an idiot.
Judy Rose and Tom were killed and eaten. Proof zombies like chicken fried people.
Yes, they do.
They did. They were pretty crispy.
Barbecued.
Ben fights his way back to the house using his zombie foo, because it's pretty much just street fighting his way through that. But things aren't going well there. Harry is taking Barbara's gun, and downstairs the little girl Sarah is now a zombie, and she kills her mom real good. We'll talk about that too in a second. Mm-hmm. There's a shootout between Ben and Harry. There's more shooting goes on when Harry won't shoot his zombie kid. Ben's mortally wounded. Harry's wounded and escapes to the attic. Barbara has had enough of all of this, and she just takes her chances and goes outside.
She's like, I'm out.
I'm out. She promises to come back, but she's like, I'm out. But she decides to take her chances outside because, as she puts it, zombies are slow.
They're so slow. We could just walk right past them. We wouldn't even have to run. We could just walk right past them.
We can just walk past them.
Which was the truth. She would just walk by and stare at him. Walk by and stare at him.
Ben makes his way to the basement. He's shot up real good, finds radio, listens to what's going on. It's here we hear the date for the first time, and it's important to me. August 23rd, 1989, which is the day of my brother Paul's birthday.
Aww.
And the day before mine.
Right.
Yeah, it's complicated. I'm not going to explain it. Paul would be celebrating his 11th. I would be going for my 12th.
Got this one.
These reactivated bodies are weak and uncoordinated, but are capable of inflicting damage on people and on property. They are to be considered extremely dangerous, especially when encountered in large numbers. These bodies can be disposed of in only one known manner, that is by incapacitating the brain.
They got that right, too.
These reactivated bodies will attack warm-blooded animals of all species, including human beings, without provocation, and will devour the flesh of any prey. It has been confirmed that acts of homicide and cannibalism reported through the afternoon and evening hours of August 23rd, 1989 are attributable, at least in part, to these reactivated.
Well, birthdays aside, Ben finds the keys and laughs until we fade to black. Barbara finds some rednecks who takes her in. She camps with them and wakes up in a Jeep and watches how terrible rednecks are to zombies.
Oh my gosh. The whole movie, so I just have to talk about the way I felt watching this. Up until the redneck part, I'm like, okay, for 1990, this is not a bad zombie flick.
No.
It's like it's pretty good, and in my mind, I am now comparing it to The Walking Dead because I number one just watched it Sunday night the premiere, and I mean, the special effects are really good on The Walking Dead,
right?
And I know that the special effects were not going to be that good in this one, but they weren't bad.
No, they were good.
It was really good. The makeup was really good.
It's all practical and they look dead.
Right. Yeah. So I really enjoyed the movie, and it was believable for a zombie movie up until the rednecks. And I'm sitting here going, really? This is how you want to end this movie?
Well, there's rednecks in there's rednecks in the original too, and then there's a redneck scene in the beginning of Dawn of the Dead as well.
It's crazy.
And so apparently, I mean, this is one as a kid.
They're like, yeehaw, let's play with the zombies.
Right. So this is as a kid, I learned that there's rednecks outside of Alabama. Growing up in the South, we know rednecks. I mean, I could totally relate. I could see us doing that down here,
well.
But I mean, come on, you know somebody up in Wilmer?
Oh, yeah.
Just straight
well,
up.
I know people in Wilmer Wood. I don't personally know anybody in Wilmer.
So where was I? Yes, so she camps with the rednecks, wakes up in a Jeep, and watches out how terrible rednecks are to zombies. She takes them to the house where they start clearing up all the dead guys. They find Zombie Ben in a basement and shoot him up poorly. The redneck with a machine gun is terrible at it. He just shoots like across the wall and then shoots the guy in the head. It's bad. A wounded Harry Cooper shows up and is excited that Barbara came back, but she just shoots him in the head because
he's an asshole.
He's the worst. She tells the rednecks, another one for the fire. The end. Bum, bum, bum.
And then they had some redneck family photos. They did
a weird photo montage of just all the zombies in the end.
It was really interesting.
So there's a lot to unpack here. So I went through this summary pretty fast because I just wanted so we could go back and talk to some stuff. I agree wholeheartedly that the special effects and the makeup was phenomenal. They did a zombie call for this one. They put in the paper, you want to be a zombie, and they had so many people show up, and so they just threw as many people as they could. And so there's a scene, some notable zombies. There's a scene midway through the movie where this old lady's just walking and she's an old lady zombie, and she walks past the house, pauses, looks at the house, and looks at the camera and leaves. That's the lady who owned the house.
Oh God, that's awesome.
That's her house, and so she's like, let them use it. Of course, she's getting
gets
paid
to be a zombie,
and they're like, we'll make you a zombie. The zombie that she kills after she kills Mr. Magruder, the skinny, weird, bald looking guy, right, was Tom Savini's cab driver. He looked weird, and Tom Savini was like, you got to be in my movie.
Oh my God.
And apparently I was watching the documentary, which I'm going to post on the show notes. He was chasing, he was following Patricia, the lady who plays Barbara, Patricia Tallman, and was saying, I'm going to get you, Barbara. I'm going to get you. And she was like, I'm not sure if he really meant it or not. Maybe he's just really, really into it.
That's weird.
There's so much going on. So I'm trying to. But okay, first of all, I like the movie.
Okay.
I think it's a worthy remake of Night.
I enjoyed it.
And the only reason why it exists is because no one made money off Night there, but they didn't make some money off the property, so they're making a new version of it. Because anybody can make their own version now because it's not out of copyright. So they were trying to use it to regain copyright, and it didn't work. So we could all make. That's why there's tons of Nights of the Living Dead out there. There's a colorized version and like a new version and a 3D, and it's just
the
3D one has the actual old one playing in the background.
That's crazy.
It's really meta, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And then I was involved in a steampunk comic project. The guy who was running that project did an animated one where he got artists to animate different scenes.
Oh, okay.
Just any way they could and put it together. So it's Return of the Living Dead Reanimated, I think it's called.
Oh, that's cool.
If I can find a trailer, I'll post it. I'm not sure about the solutions they pose here. I am with Barbara at the beginning of this movie. They are slow.
Yeah.
You could just walk past them.
Well, the commercial that they're doing right now, and I think it's a Geico commercial. I could be wrong. It seems like it's an insurance commercial,
right?
About these teenagers, and they're like, "Oh, let's go up to the attic."
Oh,
no,
yeah, it's Geico. Yeah, it's Geico. They're running
let's
in
go
theaters.
to the basement. Why don't we just go in the running car? No, are you crazy? We'll hide behind the wall of chainsaws. Yeah, it's like really bad decisions. When it was, to me, they would have done better had they just, left the house on foot.
All right, let's just walk. Or take the 5 miles on fumes. I mean,
take the truck as far as you can take it and then do what you can. But they were very slow.
I mean, I get you, because the problem is that there's only as the night progresses, there's only a few, and then it gets more and more,
right.
and then the more and more, they're the ones who break into the house. Well, after it's all boarded up, because it's like the
herd.
The herd can get you. The few can't do anything really. You can handle them.
Absolutely, grab the guns, take them, and take your chances.
I also was surprised that it's a farmhouse with a barn and everything and a gas pump, but no vehicles of any kind.
I thought that was really strange too.
No.
Unless the people left. Well, no, because
Uncle Reg and
that's
the
right,
cousin
they were
was up there because Uncle Reg died and turned into a zombie. And,
I don't know why there weren't any vehicles.
ate his cousin and right. It's just weird. I don't know. It's a weird little movie. There's
always some holes, I think, in these horror movies.
Right, but I know they're really trying to keep it's very claustrophobic, and they do a pretty good job until they decide not to and go outside. There's that whole scene when Ben is kung fuing his way back from them. It's good. It's good, but it's like the drama's in the house. And so
I really wanted Michonne to show up and start using her katana on everybody.
That would have been awesome.
That would have made it for me.
Michonne would have fit right on in that. She just took care of them all.
So, but yeah, I liked the movie. I hate that I missed the watch party because I think I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did.
Even more.
This was our first watch party on Facebook. Facebook from the Cult Movie Cantina group, and we had fun. We had about, I think overall we had like 10 people come filter through.
Yeah, I watched as much as I could without volume because I was at rehearsal.
Right.
So I'm kind of backstage watching, reading the comments.
Yeah, the comments were fun.
They were fun.
I like to point out. So I watched this movie because I own it on DVD, and I recommend. Okay, so first of all, I recommend if you like this movie, buy it on DVD because of the commentary. The director's commentary is phenomenal. It's Tom Savini just talking about it, and so Tom Savini's not talking about it as a director. He's talking about it as a special effects guy because that's his interest. He's a director, but he's like, this is how we did this effect, and this is how we did this effect. So my favorite little tidbit was this. So the beginning of the movie, when Barbara's running away from the cemetery into the farmhouse, there's a wide shot and her, and she's barefoot because she left her shoes behind, and so she's barefoot. And then the way he was explaining is like, so it was all on flat grass when she was starting to run, but when she gets to the barn, it's all rock.
Oh no! And
so what they did was they just tilted the camera up so you don't see her feet. And there's a moment where she catches her breath, and while she's catching her breath, she's putting on slippers.
Oh, nice!
And now since I've been told that, and so go back and watch it, you can watch her feet, and you can totally watch her put it on slippers. But like beforehand, never noticed it, and it's not really that noticeable. But now that you're looking for it, I can't unseen it. It makes me giggle every time I see it. It's like, oh, she's got shoes now, she's good. And then the rest of the shots are above her knees, so you can't see that she's wearing slippers.
That's awesome.
So special effects magic. I still think that Tom and Judy Rose are cousins. There's no way they're not cousins.
They're probably part of that whole redneck clan at the other end of the movie.
Yeah, right.
It reminded me a little bit of, and here I'm going back to The Walking Dead, but when the governor was in charge,
right,
and they would have the ring fighting with the zombies. Did you see that season?
Yeah, I saw that season.
Okay, so you know how they would do the ring fighting,
and
then they would do. They would pretty much torture the zombies,
right?
As well, you know. So it was.
Yes, because at the end of the movie, you've got zombies. They've got they built
from a tree.
Yeah, they've got the bunch of them. They did they put them in a ring and they were fighting them, which was precarious. I don't know how drunk I could be to do that. And then they strung up a bunch from a tree and were shooting with bows and arrows until the end. They figured they'd shoot them with guns. Like rednecks are terrible as zombies. Like rednecks are like the natural enemy of the zombies.
Right, pretty much.
We need that movie, Redneck versus Zombie, or that game. I play both. Both. I won't copyright that if no one has it yet.
That would be great.
Just start making zombies versus rednecks versus zombie would be fun.
By the way, I watched this movie this morning
while
cool. I was drinking my coffee.
Oh, that's cool.
So first thing in the morning, woke up. Popped on a zombie flick.
Well, that sounds like about you anyway.
Yeah.
So do you have you having a background in makeup and a joy of it? Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite effect or makeup or zombie look good or something jumps out at you?
I mean, all the zombie of course, watching this whole thing, I'm looking, watching a lot of it, and of course I could be wrong, but a lot of it looked that it there's a good bit done without prosthetics, so just really good makeup.
Right.
And I really love that because that is something that I can utilize in the future on a project that I'm not going to talk about right now.
I understand.
And so I was paying close attention to that, utilizing that. And then the effects of, being shot and the oozing.
Right.
And that is just really, really cool. And then, of course, the super secret scenes that you sent me, had better effects, I thought.
Yeah, talk about that in Apocrypha.
But yeah, I was mostly paying attention to the actual makeup details.
So
because it's used for later.
My favorite zombie in it is the one that Ben hits with his truck. I love that effect. So they have Tony Todd in a truck, and he's speeding down the camera on like a POV perspective.
Right.
And they just waylay this dummy, and the dummy just kind of ragdolls over this truck. And then what they did was they took the actor, buried him to his waist. And
that was good. And it had his legs all crooked.
Yeah, it had a little crooked, and just such a good effect.
I forgot about that
but
one.
But it looked authentic. I mean, it looked really, really well.
Really good.
So it's really cool. I guess it's time for our libation.
Oh, yeah. So I have to, because I thought this was funny. Throughout the movie, they were watching the news or listening to the radio, and they kept making all these pretty much guesses on what's causing it. It could be a virus. It could be some sort of a weird chemical leak. It could be aliens. It could be, they had all this stuff, but I have the answer. I know what reanimated these zombies.
All right. What did that?
Well, first of all, there's a shot called Wake the Dead. So it's 1 ounce of coffee liqueur, 1 ounce of tequila.
I'm in.
And a 1/2 ounce of espresso. You just gather the ingredients. You put it into a cocktail shaker filled with ice. Shake it, pour it into a shot glass. There you go. Wake the Dead. Got your espresso, got your tequila. You're good to go.
It's your good morning drink.
Yeah. And if you want something a little bit more substantial that's not a shot, something you can actually sip on, I have one called the Corpse Reviver.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this is what reanimated them.
I got you. I feel you.
So the Corpse Reviver has... it's 3/4 ounce of triple sec, 3/4 ounce of gin, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, and then you just dash of absinthe on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You shake it in the cocktail shaker with ice, and you pour into a chilled glass.
Nice. You can find these recipes on our show notes, because our show notes are awesome.
And that's what brought those dead people back to life.
I love the theme. It works. That also sounds very tasty.
I know. Both of those sound good. I have the ingredients for both of those. Well, no, I don't have coffee liqueur. I need some. Oh, wait. I do have Kahlua.
Yeah, that counts.
Okay, good. Yes, I have the ingredients for these at home.
All right. It's time for Apocrypha. First of all, there's not a lot of Apocrypha, because my first note is see Night of the Living Dead 1968. There's a whole other version of this film. There's always a lot of versions. We've mentioned there's a lot of versions of the movie. However, we did touch on just a little bit I wanted to talk about. So this movie was originally rated X.
Yes.
By the MPAA. This is before they had NC-17. Right before they had NC-17.
I have to tell you, when you sent me that piece of information today, my rated X was different from
what
they
I
were.
I did, that was on purpose.
My mind went completely elsewhere.
I knew where your mind was going. You were like, sweet zombie on zombie action.
I know, that's what I was thinking. It was like, there's some naked something going around.
No, it's just extensive violence, which really isn't, but it's, I guess for 1990. So originally rated X by the MPAA, following scenes had to be cut, and so the movie could be changed to rated R. Close up with the fire poker in the head of the first zombie that Barbara kills. When she kills Uncle Reeves, she gets him really good, and there's a close up of him after he gets it. But it's not bad.
It's just a really gory, gory special effect, but nothing compared to today's standards.
Yeah, the gory headshot of Mr. Magruder zombie when she shoots him. A bloodier version of the scene where she kills and shoots the bald zombie who's the taxi driver. Right. When he tries to see under the window. But my favorite in all of this is this one. Tom blowing off the zombie's head.
Yes.
With a shotgun when they're on their way to the gas pumps. That effect is awesome.
It was.
The clip I have, and I'll put the clip in the show notes, has all these. But the guy put it in, and he also put it in slow motion afterwards. So it's like,
yeah, it is awesome. It looks like a pumpkin, just
pumped up. So Tom Savini has written about how unhappy he was making this movie.
How unhappy?
Yeah, he was unhappy.
Oh.
Because it wasn't quite the way he wanted to make it. It's the first time dealing with a studio, and they were just first time dealing with a first-time director.
Right.
And so the producers got real scary, and so all these cuts they just did on him, and there's a process where when the MPA won't say, hey, like, this is what's too violent. Well, you can appeal that, and he was like, he never got the chance to appeal anything.
That's terrible.
So we never got this version, and unfortunately now that the footage wasn't really cared for, because the footage I've got is not in great condition.
It's not great. It was not terrible.
No, I've seen worse, but like the Event Horizon stuff is terrible. You can't. But again, you can't use it, so there can't be a director's cut of this. So that's sad. But you can check out what footage I've got in the show notes.
Yeah.
Here's a little bar trivia.
Okay.
The Mercedes driven by Johnny at the beginning of the film was originally owned by Tom Savini. According to the director, it was the first car he bought after meeting with success, and it broke his heart to have to wreck it.
Oh.
During the filming of this movie. This Mr. McGruber zombie was a man that the director Tom Savini saw in a diner and told him that you'd make a great zombie. And the man agreed, and he showed up at the premises.
Nice.
And then he started showing up all the premieres. He was just like, I'm the Mr. McGruber zombie. This is the only film in the Living Dead series which has the date. I've mentioned this before. The Zombie Uprising, as mentioned, August 23rd, 1989. Ben finds a Henry 1860 rifle in the arms of cousin Satchel, who Uncle Reed ate in the house. He takes it, uses it for a while, then Ray gives the gun to Barbara, who uses it for most of the movie. That's the gun where she front loads it, which is weird, but it's an old rifle.
Weird, yeah.
So here's my favorite. The characters take refuge in an isolated farmhouse early in the film. Next to one of the doors visible in the shot in the exterior of the house is the name of the owner, M. Celeste, and now letters in script font. This seems to be homage to the sailing ship, the Marie Celeste, which was discovered in the Atlantic Ocean unmanned and under sail heading toward the Strait of Gibraltar in 1872. Her crew was not on board, and the only lifeboat was gone, but the ship had no damage and was seaworthy.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like the ship, the house was undamaged and by this ordeal and could have been immediately occupied. According to some of Savini's commentary on the DVD, which is true, he said the name is deliberate. Yeah, so there's a whole ship out there that just crew and everything vanished, and they don't know what happened to them. Creepy.
That is creepy.
Screw, marry, kill. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, God.
I made this one easy. Ready?
Yeah.
Ben, Barbara, and one other survivor who is not Harry, because let's face it, he's the worst.
Yeah, that's right.
We would all kill Harry. We would be like, so I figured, so Ben, Barbara, and take your pick, which I guess would be Helen, Judy Rose, or Tom.
Okay.
Or if you want to go Uncle Reed, I'm okay with it. Cousin Satchel.
Well, it doesn't matter because I would kill the other survivor. Out of those, Barbara, I'd probably. That's hard because I've got a thing for Kern. Tony Todd.
So
well, if I married him though, then I could still screw him.
Right, of course.
Okay, so I'll screw Barbara and marry Tony Todd or Ben or whatever.
I got you.
You know where I'm at.
I got you. I will. Let's see how I will do this. I guess we will kill the survivor. I'm with that.
Yeah.
I will pick one. I won't poor Judy Rose because I don't believe that she's a teenager. Lies. I will. I will make a magical night with Kern. Just to know what Klingon sex is like, and then I will marry Barbara because Sara Conner. She can keep me safe.
Go.
So
yeah.
You know me. I'm always looking for security in that.
That's awesome. That one was easy.
That was easy. So what do you think the budget for this movie was?
Oh, this has got to be low budget. Let's see. They borrowed a house from an old lady. Dude owned one of the cars in it. And rednecks probably worked for real cheap.
The sheriff in the redneck party that they're doing the interview of, by the way, is Johnny. Is the original Johnny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's the one that says, "Hey, they're real all messed up."
I would say $2 million.
4.2 million.
Okay, a little bit more than what I thought, but still pretty low.
So it came out October 19th. So real soon. We're coming up to its 29th anniversary, I guess.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It made $5.8 million total.
Okay.
So it made a little.
It grossed.
It grossed, yeah. How do you think it did its weekend?
On its weekend?
Yeah. I will give you the hint. It is top 10.
Okay, top 10. 8.
And number 6.
Okay.
Better than you thought.
I know.
I would ask you what the top 5 movies for, but you.
I don't know. You know I don't do
It's
that.
funny when I do this game with Drew, too, the filmmaker. He never knows. I'm like, I think I'm the only person on the planet who knows this stuff.
This is why you're the Native American pop culture spirit guide.
I know. All right, so top 5 movies were Marked for Death.
I've not seen that.
You know it, though?
No.
Steven Seagal.
Okay.
Memphis Belle.
I don't know that one either.
Oh, Memphis Belle's good. It's got Eric Stoltz and Matthew Modine and.
Okay, never heard of it.
That's good. It's about a World War II bomber on a mission, and it's all the young guys that are pilots. It's really, really good.
All right.
Quickly Down Under.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie too. That's Tom Selleck playing a cowboy going to Australia. Let's see, Ghost is number.
I did see Ghost.
4, yeah, Oscar nominated Ghost, and then the reissue of Fantasia came out top 5, and then number 6 was 9/11.
What was the rest of the top 10? Do you know?
I didn't have it. I just grabbed the top 5. Top movie. Can you guess the top movies in 1990?
The top movie in
one of them I have named.
You did name?
I have.
It would have to be Ghost.
Right. Ghost was number 2.
golly, I was a senior in high school.
And it was 1992. Just 90.
I graduated in 90.
Okay.
I'm
trying to think. 92.
I have no idea. I don't remember watching TV.
I got you.
Or movies.
So number 5 was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I didn't realize it made that much money. But
wait a minute, that's that old?
Yeah, 1990.
Oh, I do remember that because I had a Raphael Christmas ornament.
I cannot believe that movie was. I knew it was big. I didn't realize it was number 5 big.
That's crazy.
Number 4 was Pretty Woman.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's a good movie. Number 3 is Dances with Wolves.
That's a good movie, but it's long.
It's long. It did win the Oscar that year. Number 2 is Ghost. Mm-hmm. And number 1 is Home Alone.
Oh, I didn't realize that came out in 1990.
I was listening to a podcast that had Tony Todd on it, and he was talking about when he got cast for this, and I cannot remember the actor who recommended it. It was Lawrence Fishburne who recommended him for it because he didn't want to do it. It was him and Forrest Whitaker. They both were talking. Okay. They were like, neither one of them wanted to do it.
Huh.
So they're like, you, Tony Todd, because they all knew each other, and so they were like, you go do this. And so Tony Todd said, okay, I will. And so he got the part, and he got the part by he came in and did the reading, and then Tom Savini was like, well, can you go read this line, and just step out and come back in? He said, sure, no problem. He stepped out for a few minutes, come back in, he already memorized his lines.
Right.
Tom Savini was like, I had him right then. He was our Ben. And he also looked like the original guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just like win-win right there. And he was thrilled to do it. He had just had a kid, and it was a steady job, and he loved, so he had a blast. He had
he has such a great voice.
Oh God, yes. It's just like Tony Todd has this is basically the Tony Todd podcast because
right.
This is a great movie. Go watch at least the first Candyman is brilliant.
It is.
And he's so.
I remember watching that with my mom. My mom and I are huge horror fans.
Right.
Well, that's where I got it from.
That's where I got it from.
But
not your mom, my mom.
Right. Which is
But I would watch a horror film with your mom.
But I remember watching Candyman with her, and it was really. I thought that was an amazing movie.
It's great.
It was brilliant.
He's the Undertaker in the Final Destination films.
Yeah. Do you know how I talked to my mom into watching Joker? Because she doesn't like, quote, comic book movies a whole lot. I told her, I'd sent her an article. I said, here, Mom, there's this article in this movie that people are walking out because it's so disturbing. You want to go see it? She's like, yeah.
I'm in. That's cool.
Yeah.
So everybody except Tom Savini seemed to have a good time with this job and movie. And so
that's awesome.
I like it. I'd recommend it. You?
Yeah, absolutely. I would. It's a fun movie. It's like I said, it's not as cheesy as I thought it would be until the end. It's kind of kind of crazy.
It's got early late Walking Dead effects.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
especially if you're a fan of the early Walking Dead seasons, watch it.
Right.
Just,
if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, then you'll definitely enjoy this.
It basically ends where they go find Daryl and Merle anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Barbara just goes find them. And
pretty much.
All right. Well, that's about it for this show, unless you got anything else you want to add.
Not that I can think of at the moment. I'm ready to go drink some of those drinks.
No, I am too. This is so delicious. But you get to find them on the show notes. Yay.
Yay.
You can find us at ScottyWhite.com. You can follow me on Twitter at ScottyWhite.
Yep. You can also find me on ScottyWhite.com. And my Instagram is always Stephanie.
Yeah, she's been posting.
There you go.
She's been posting on Insta.
I do Instagram. I do Twitter. You can find me on Twitter too. There's a link to my Twitter on ScottyWhite.com.
Yeah, you're
Stephanie S.
Ward.
Stephanie S. Ward 1.
Ron, yeah. I thought it was always Stephanie, and then I was like,
no, that's my Instagram.
Right. But when I was doing the lower thirds for the videos, I had to go back and double check. I was like, I had to fix it.
Oh yeah.
This is me saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours.
Bye.
Don't get zombies to kill you. That would be bad.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Thank you for listening to the Mopcast Network.